Welcome back to Finnegan's Garage.
Welcome back to Finnegan's Garage. This time on Finnegan's Garage.
Welcome back to Finnegan's Garage.
We're gonna fix something that's been driving me up the wall for the last 3 weeks that I've owned this truck.
This time on Finnegan's Garage.
Yo, it's Finnegan. Hey friends, before we get going on this episode of Finnegan's Garage, I'm about to do something I normally don't do, and that's talk about stuff I know absolutely nothing about.
Hey guys, it's Finnegan. I'm back.
This time on Finnegan's Garage, I'm rewiring the fire chicken and doing some burnouts.
Yo, it's Finnegan. Welcome back. This time on Finnegan's Garage.
This episode of Finnegan's Garage is smoking!
This time on Finnegan's Garage.
Welcome back to Finnegan's Garage. That is a frame I have uttered over 360 times since 2016. We're 9 years into this deal. We just hit over 1 million subscribers. I don't have the plaque. I'd like it, but I don't even know how to get it. And this is my celebration of that. Today we're gonna look back at my 20 favorite moments from Finnegan's Garage, and I'm gonna give you the inside info on why they even happened. And so, let's get it started, right? So here's the truth, why this channel even exists. When I moved from California to Georgia, I had to quit doing Hot Rod Garage for Motor Trend. At the time I was doing Hot Rod Garage and Roadkill, and I was working on Hot Rod Magazine, but when I moved to Georgia, something had to give. And basically it was Hot Rod Garage. I couldn't fly back and forth and keep that schedule up. I just had a new baby. I had a son who was only 3. There was a lot going on here in the Finnegan household, and I said, I gotta pump the brakes. And so my first 8 or 9 months in Georgia was just kind of getting my feet wet and flying out to do Roadkill as often as possible. But around the 1 year mark of living here, the folks at Motor Trend decided to pull all of their shows off YouTube and put them behind a paywall, which in my opinion was not a great strategic move. And I didn't know how long that deal would last. So I launched my own YouTube channel. January 12, 2016 is when Finnegan's Garage was born. And honestly, it was my backup plan. I figured if the Motor Trend thing imploded, at least I could get going on this. Well, that thing lasted another 13 years, far longer than I ever expected. And so it was a lot of work to keep a YouTube channel going while working for Motor Trend, but I somehow pulled it off. We've made 363 episodes. You guys have watched this or clicked on these videos 155 million times since 2016. You've watched 39.5 million hours of content on this channel, which is bananas. Because at its core, it's just a couple of people in a garage most days. You know, it's not often we get to leave and go anywhere. It's this garage, you know, and over the years, this garage has changed a lot. We've reorganized it, we've moved stuff, the projects has changed. I've only had 2 full-time employees, David Newbern, Joe Cole. But the truth is this channel was launched by my sister-in-law and myself in January of 2016. She literally shot the first clips. I don't even know what we shot them on, but it was a long time ago, and she edited the first video or 2. And then after that, I took over. I did the editing. I was the one responsible for the crappy audio in the beginning. You know, I like to think we've gotten better since then, but we must be doing something right. We're still here after 9 years. And to celebrate that, because we just hit our 1 million subscriber, we're gonna count down my 20 favorite moments that have ever happened on this channel. And it took a long time to watch all the videos again and go through all of it to find these 20 moments, but we did, and my friend Chris Reed just edited this video. And we're gonna go through all of them, and I'll tell you what I can remember and why things happened the way they did. So let's get it started with video number 20. All right, number 20. This is kind of a big one, actually. Drag Week 2024, Tony Angelo and I are back together again, trying to win the A-Gas class at Hot Rod Drag Week. And if you've seen the movie we made, you know we didn't win. And this next clip is part of the reason why. This was the single biggest wheelie I've ever had in Blasphemy. It's time for our first pass. We're in the lanes right now. Tony and I are a well-oiled machine. Like, we got the car flipped from street mode to race mode probably in under an hour. I'm remarkably calm, even after the rocker arm broke yesterday and we fouled some spark plugs, and I think this is gonna go well.
Now we're talking. These are two class combatants going to run off each other side by side here. Finnegan, and the only guy that's within spitting distance of him on the racetrack now. Wayne Baker having run 8:79 earlier today. Finnegan having run 8:70. So these two guys are running for the same trophy, and they're also now on the same racetrack simultaneously. It's a good little moment here. On the trailer hit. Wayne Baker, meanwhile, is roaring down the summit side to go 879 at 154 miles an hour. All right, back to the pits. Car went way up, big wheelie, slammed down, he backed way out of it.
If you look real close, the fuel cell nearly hits the ground along with the trailer hitch, and when that front end came down, the bump stops did not work. I love the front end that Scott's Hot Rods hand fabbed for the front of Blasphemy. The car drives so good, but the bump stops didn't actually do anything. And so when it came down, it actually bent the steering. We fixed it, but as soon as I got home, we fabricated all new bump stops for this thing. And since then, I've actually used those. And thankfully so, because we've had more big wheelies ever since this one. But this one is a favorite of mine for a lot of reasons. First off, there's a photo of my car before the Christmas tree with the tires above the hood of Wayne Baker's Nova. He's in the other lane. And we haven't even made it to the Christmas tree yet. Like, this car just stood straight up as soon as I let the clutch out. And the reason it did it was we launched it at 8,000 RPM on the rev limiter because I forgot to turn the two-step on. So when it was my turn to go, I put my foot to the floor, the Hemi went to the moon. That slipper clutch was not gonna slip. You know, we had it completely locked up. The track at Indy was on point, all the traction, and the car just went for the moon. And I had to pedal it because it felt like it was going all the way over. It was gonna hit the gas tank on the ground. Luckily, it didn't. And we nearly finished. We were running really good at Drag Week 2024, but it didn't quite work out. So there's number 20. Number 19. This one is interesting for a lot of reasons. First off, I love C2 Corvettes, and my goal for a long time has been to get in the 200 mile an hour club at Hot Rod Drag Week and run a 6-second pass in a street car with small tires, and I thought it was gonna be in a C2 Corvette. So when my neighbor called me one day and said, hey, I know you wanted one, I've been hiding one from you for a long time, I'll finally sell it to you. I was shocked when I went into his garage in his basement, and under a cover was the body of a 63 Chevy Corvette split window under a tarp sitting on a wooden dolly. This car was originally white with a black interior. And the reason I'm interested in this is a future Drag Week project. I want to get in the 200 mile an hour club at Drag Week on small tires. I have the turbo motor out of Game Over sitting in the garage. That's what's going in this. So after all these months of you guys wondering, is it going in the Caddy? Is it going in Blasphemy? No, it's going in this. I'll steer the front. So I bought it, we drug it home from his house to mine on the wooden dolly. Going down the road, behind my mule. Oh, what a day. What a life, what a world. And yeah, I know the front fenders are wrong, but the back end of this car is so right. Oh, man. And no, we don't have a chassis. We have a wooden dolly with casters. It's working though. When I got home, we actually threw the Sonny Leonard 711 cubic inch Hemi that was in my drag boat Game Over. We put it in that Corvette to see how well it would fit. This whole thing and the parts I've collected will go to another shop so that they can build the tube chassis, because I am not a chassis builder, nor do I have a chassis table. And even though in my heart of hearts, I want to learn how to do that, I also want to drive this car of the century. So, yeah. It's fun to see it in there though.
That is rad.
And my plan was to send the motor in the car out to a shop in Iowa and have them put a chassis in it, because I'm not a chassis guy. But the problem was, shortly after that, I got in 2 different C2 Corvettes that had 6-second, 5-second cert cages, you know, funny car deals, the whole thing. And I don't fit in them. I'm 6'1". I'm mostly leg. And the distance from the firewall to where the rear tire is, even with a small tire like a 28, there's not enough room in there to put a good size 4-link and make the car work and keep my head away from the roll bar, even without a helmet. So that car, my dream car, still will not be my drag and drive car. As you guys have seen, the 200 mile an hour car is going to be a Lexus, which I'm just as excited about. It's badass. But yeah, we drug this thing home, showed it to you guys, and it hasn't done anything since, because I have another plan that involves like late 60s Trans Am racing, you know, style C2 Corvette. So you'll see that eventually. But right now, let's move on to number 18. In this one, we never made it out of the parking lot of Gateway Motorsports Park. We smoked the Hemi during testing on day 1. Wasn't even day 1, actually. And it was all due to a lack of fuel delivery issue. You know, HED built a great Hemi. Apparently, the fuel pump we had in the car the season before was not enough for all that newfound Hemi horsepower, and it leaned out and smoked the motor.
So it's gonna work. Sounds good. It seems good. It's gonna rip. That car is a handful. I'm feeling it.
Now it's t-shirts that are actually like Angelo's gym or something.
Little wheel spit, but give me a 950. We'll take that. That's a good start.
Well, there's a big puff of black smoke there as you get to the finish line, and the sound took a second to get back to us. There's maybe just clipping the rev limiter. It goes 950, 641.
It's oil for sure.
Yeah. You know, it's done. We're done. There are no spare Hemi springs, pistons laying around. We're freaking out on day 1. All right, I'm calling it. We're done. It's day 2 of drag week. We're officially out, which sucks. Which would have been horrible, you know, because we didn't finish. We didn't even make it out of the parking lot, like I said, except Tony and I ordered rings, found a spare piston, went to Jake Sanders' shop, put the whole thing back together in time for day 5 of that week when it returned back to Gateway. And we were going to make, you know, just a nice 8-second pass. Just make ourselves feel good about the whole week. Give me 1 pass down the drag strip. I will be a happy man.
We've got a big sale coming. It's not here yet. We've got about maybe 45 minutes to an hour before we have that.
So you are officially calling the event.
The event is called.
And we got rained out. Nobody made a pass on day 5 of drag week in 2022. And so that was a huge kick in the balls. I did make a pass on the way home. The nice people at Holly got me a fuel pump. I went to Beach Bend on the way home, and I did make a low 9-second pass, and it felt great. That week will forever live rent-free in my head as the week we showed up to drag week and never made it out of the parking lot on day 1, which coincidentally, my very first drag week was 2017. Also didn't make it out of that parking lot, which on day 2, the Hemi dropped a valve. And in the burnout box, dropped a valve, destroyed the motor. So I don't think I've ever left Gateway under power in my own car. It is like curse for me. So there you go. That's number 18. Let's move on to number 17. There we go. Number 17. This was a good one for me. The Rubber Duck, one of my favorite cars ever. One we rescued out of a barn here in Georgia. Newbert and I supercharged it because we had a problem with the hood of the car, and we just realized installing a supercharger fixes everything, including a hood that won't stay shut. The hood, it's kind of floppy, and it's floppy because there's no hood hinges on it, which is probably why it's cracked down this side and cracked down that side, because at moderate speeds, again, the hood likes to lift up, especially when you lift off the gas. We can't have that, so we're going to fix it by installing a supercharger right now.
Yes. Did it lower the car?
And then I took my mom, picked her up at her house, and went to Home Depot and bought her a Christmas tree. This feels like a solid plan. I did wash the car before we did this, so this shouldn't scratch it. And on the way home, did burnouts with my mom and her Christmas tree. One of the most fun things I've ever done. My mom still talks about it to this day. And also, she loves being on YouTube. So shout out Mom in the comments if you can, because she loves that sort of thing. Moving on, number 16. We got about, I'd say 5 miles from the racetrack in Tulsa and the Bourbon. It just died on the freeway. Just backfired and shut off. All right, we put a new coil in. We're gonna try the easy thing first. Give it a shot.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
You were right, Dave. I will give you credit. You were right.
We're about an hour away from my house in Georgia, and now's right about the time when my wife would be picking the boys up from school, and they always FaceTime me as soon as they get out of school, and so she was blowing my phone up all around the interstate, and obviously I can't answer it because I'm in Square Force 1, not blasphemy, that would give away what's going on, so we pulled over real quick, I want to FaceTime her, and then we'll carry on with our charade for a few more hours. Alright, I'm going. No, don't go yet. She's coming to the door. I want to see if she'll call. If she comes up to the door, then go.
What are you doing? What are you doing here?
It's our anniversary, baby.
House slippers. That's perfect. I'm in my house slippers.
I couldn't warn you. You always look good. I wasn't worried about it. It wasn't like you were going to come out in a tracksuit, you know.
It's possible.
Had the motor go to 10,000 RPM before, and the Hemi does not like that. And so we bore scoped the motor, found dents in all the pistons, one dead hole with no compression, and a dent in the oil pan. This thing's done. And the downside of Hemi stuff is you can't even find a set of standard main bearings anywhere right now. So we can't fix this here, which sucks. However, we can take this whole circus to Topeka, the next track, and just go have some fun. I have learned a lot of things the hard way in my life. Many of them stick with me. A lot of the wins, I don't remember at all. Entire races, hell, even a championship, I have a hard time remembering. But when I really screw something up, that's the kind of thing that sticks with you. Things like there's no such thing as a free lap dance, you know. Learned that the hard way. I also learned that if you take a pair of tie bar lifters for a big black Chevy, flip them up like this and turn them like that, you can put them in your engine block and it will run for 14 poles on the dyno. But eventually, when those wheels are 45 degrees to the lobe on the cam, that tears stuff up and it doesn't last. But you can do it. Sorry, Steve Brule. The other thing I learned the hard way was that if you buy a G-Force GF5R transmission, which is a great transmission, and the gear changes happen with 3 levers mounted on the side of it, and you put your H-pattern shifter in there, 2 of those levers go one direction, the third one goes the opposite direction. And when you do that and you whole shot your car at Rocky Mountain Race Week, first gear becomes second gear. Second gear becomes first gear. And what I mean by that is shifter forward, let the clutch out, motor bogs because you're actually in second gear. Then when you get moving and you try to cram it into second, you're trying to shove it in first gear, and the Hemi don't like that. The first 3 times I did it, the motor saw 8,000 RPM. Or more. Could have been more, I don't know. When I finally figured out what was going on, and we flipped the lever around the right way, motor went all the way down the track, but when I clicked it in fourth, all hell broke loose. The car started shaking. We lost power. I pulled off on the return road. The motor was still running, even though a rod had broken, and it wasn't even making any noise. But I ended up coasting back to the pit, looked under the car, saw the dent in the oil pan, and realized we just destroyed my Hemi because one little lever on the shifter was upside down. Ugh. That's never happening again. Because I have a Tremec, there's no levers in that anymore. Like, it just, you know, just move the shifter. You can't, once the shifter's on, you can't screw that up, which is what a guy like me needs. All right, moving on. What are we up to? 15, 14? I don't know. Let's move on. Speaking of screwing things up really badly, but still having a good time, I once raced Leroy because the internet wanted it to happen. And I don't know why the internet wanted it to happen, but there was a period of time, I think around 2020, probably during the pandemic, where Cletus and I hung out multiple times because he didn't live too far from me, I didn't live too far from him. We were just going to go outdoors during a pandemic and, you know, not kiss each other, so it was probably safe. And we raced Leroy versus Blasphemy at Paradise Dragway in Calhoun, Georgia. An uphill asphalt 8th mile track that usually isn't prepped for, you know, Leroy, which was on radials and, I don't know, made like 1,500 horsepower at the time, and I somehow kicked his butt. That's not what's important here. What's important here is if you look really closely, when I did burnouts in Blasphemy, the rear tires were in reverse. They weren't going forward, and there wasn't a lot of smoke. I noticed there wasn't a lot of smoke, but because I was on a hill doing a burnout, I didn't notice the car moving the wrong direction, which is weird because it's uphill. And it wasn't until I got home and looked at the GoPro footage that I realized that, oh my God, I'm in reverse doing a burnout. Now, how do you do that, right? How do you not know you're doing a burnout in reverse gear instead of second or third gear? Well, I had taken the H-pattern shifter out of Blasphemy, and I had put what's called a Vertigate shifter in there from G-Force. It's actually a long racing shifter, Vertigate shifter. That shifter, you squeeze a lever, and it moves a pin up into a notch, and then you push it forward or backwards to, you know, take off in first gear. Well, when you squeeze it and it doesn't go all the way to the right notch, when you pull it backwards to start a second gear burnout, you can end up in reverse. And I did that. And there's a shifter boot around this thing, so I can't even see that I've squeezed it. It didn't go all the way up. I just pulled it backwards, started doing a burnout. And again, until I saw the GoPro footage at home, I was like, there's not a lot of smoke. That's weird. No one's standing there. James Tall was there, Cooper Baghetti, Cletus was in his car. Obviously, he couldn't see. Newbern, nobody noticed Blasphemy was doing backwards burnouts before that race. And I don't think anyone knows this. This might be the first time I've ever really talked about it. But yeah, I did backwards burnouts. Didn't break anything. Won the race. Right after that, I put the H pattern back in the car because I was like, never doing that again. All right, next scene. This is number 13, and 13 and 12 are gonna have a common theme, which is getting banned for life from places. The first time I got banned for life from anywhere was a campground, actually, because during a roadkill shoot involving the rubber duck, Newbern and I had to swap a motor in it because the original motor that was in that car, when we drug it out of the barn, ate the camshaft up like 8 miles after we started driving on our road trip. Just look at it. Oh my God. We didn't stage any of this stuff. The cylinder heads, the differential, ring and pinion, like we didn't put anything in here. This place is stuffed with speed parts. Look, there's a front runner slotted mags right there. There's some centerline Convo Pros right here. Look at this. So the hood's fiberglass, but the rest of the car, I'm pretty sure is steel. And because it's on flat tires and it's surrounded by just dead rat poop everywhere, I didn't crawl under it. I have no idea if it's rusty, but I don't think it is. But it's caged. It's got a power glide. It's got a big block Chevy with a Dominator on it. And like I said, it's not been registered since 2000. Beautiful day here in Georgia to drive 8 miles. That's how far we've gone. They just started misfiring. We pulled over and pulled the spark plugs out. This is from 864 cylinders. Those look okay. That one I was not expecting, nor was I expecting another one on that side. And these are dead holes. These aren't firing anymore. We need to figure out why that's happening and can we fix it? And if we can't fix it, well, there's a motor and a trailer over there. We may be swapping it in a parking lot somewhere. I had a motor. It was Newbern's out of his Nova, 540, dart motor, very cool. And we had already been at my house so many days, so late at night, that my wife was kind of over it. We had a film crew here, and we were working all night long. And once again, we were going to be working late. So I was like, well, let's just go work on this thing at a campground. We'll stay the night there, and then we'll leave town, thereby not waking up anyone in my house, not annoying anyone. So we rolled in the campground with hand tools and a motor and a cherry picker and proceeded to swap the motor in my 67 Firebird, which wouldn't have been a big deal except the camp counselor, director, ranger, I don't know. Someone had a problem with it. We weren't making any noise. The people camping next to us thought it was cool, but we had the cops called on us and were escorted out of there and had to tow the car home because we had everything right. It was ready to run. We had no oil pressure because I had dropped the distributor in, didn't get the height right, and the O-ring around the body of the distributor wasn't sealing to the cam tunnel and making the oil go through the whole thing. So we ended up having to go back to my house to finish the job. This sexy thing here is 540 cubic inches of big block Chevy power. This is the engine that was in Newbern's attempted murder Nova that did drag week and didn't quite make it. So this is all aftermarket parts. There's no factory Chevy stuff here. You've got a Dart Big M cast iron block. You have Dart Pro 1 aluminum heads. We're gonna put the carburetor we have on it, the headers we have on it, all the accessories, and this combo any day of the week, if it has about 9.5 or 10-to-1 compression, this should make 750 horsepower all day long. You're not gonna believe this, but we're actually back in my garage again. We had to have the Firebird towed here because, well, there's no oil pressure in our newly rebuilt engine.
The people at the campground were like impressed that this show is not put on. They're like, man, you guys are legit. This stuff actually happens. So they're all big fans now, except for the park ranger.
Yeah, the campers loved us.
Yeah.
The ranger, not so much.
No.
Can't go back to that campground anymore. So that was 13. Let's just jump right in number 12, another place I'm banned for life, a sports park near my house. I don't even want to name it. But Newbern and I went there to do 2 burnouts. Not the sports park per se, but a road that ran through it and dead-ended at the top of a mountain. It was a closed road. There were signs saying it was closed. We thought we were being safe and sane and doing the right thing. So, I don't know, around March, we went up there and did a burnout in my 1969 Chevy C50 ramp truck. Then we put a supercharger on that because it had a tail light out. I don't know if you're seeing a theme here or not, but superchargers fix everything. We had a tail light out, so we put a blower on that motor. And we went back again, I think in May, to film the after shot of it doing a burnout in the same place, except this happened on a Saturday or a Sunday, I forget which. And it was the only day we could do it because the weather was crap that week and I needed to put up the video. And as we drove through the sports park, we noticed there were a lot of people there, including kids playing Little League.
Here.
Maybe you should point it downhill
So we can leave with the kids. Oh my, look, they have the perfect view. They have they're like sitting on bleachers for this. Wow.
And we go up there anyway because we need the shot. And as Newbern's doing the burnout, everyone stops playing Little League. No baseball was happening. All these kids turned around and wondered what was all the commotion coming out of this hill. And what was that big green thing driving down it with smoke coming out of the cab? And it was us. And,
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
you should run.
I can't see anything.
Oh my god.
I'm out of here.
Maybe the smoke will hide you.
Oh God, look at
Oh, they are staring.
I can't even.
I'm ducking down.
Oh God, here comes security. Here comes security.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh God. Oh God. How's it going? How's it going? Oh, stop.
That smoke is still hovering over those trees.
About a month later, my wife comes down to the garage and says, the police are here. And I said, oh, okay. And I didn't know why the police were here. But I went upstairs and they immediately go, Finnegan, is Newbern here? And I'm like, yes, he is. Let me get him for you. Thinking, Newbern's in trouble for something he did. And when Newbern got up there, they're like, okay, Finnegan, you did the burnout in March without the supercharger. Newbern, you did the burnout in May with the supercharger. Here are your citations. Sign this, never return there, you're banned for life. And they were actually pretty cool about it because they didn't give us reckless driving tickets or exhibition of speed or anything like that. They gave us tickets for driving on a closed road. So I gave them, or at least I tried to give them bottles of water, said thank you and I'll see you later. And yeah, we haven't been back there since to do burnouts, but that's how I got banned for life from that place. It's really Newbern's fault, he was driving. Number 11. Number 11 is one of those I want an adventure and I've never driven anything like this before kind of deals where sight unseen off the internet. In fact, I think it was racingjunk.com. I bought a 6-door Ford F650 truck that was powered by a 5.9 liter Cummins turbo diesel. And I believe in the Cummins. I'm a huge fan of it. I thought, what could go wrong? Everything could go wrong. We flew in.
This thing is a unicorn. It's, okay, look. I want you to understand what this is. Yes, 6-door F800, but it has a 5.9 Cummins with a 7-speed manual gearbox and only 30,000 miles. It's like brand new.
Test drove the truck. In the middle of test drive, the heater went out on it. I didn't put 2 and 2 together that could be a problem later, but paid for the truck and
we didn't get catfished. I'm so excited. This truck actually exists, and we actually bought it, and we're driving away in it.
We didn't get car fished for once.
Right.
And less than 100 miles down the road, we realized the reason the heat went out is because the thing had pushed a head gasket. and had pumped all the oil into the radiator in the dead of winter in the middle of nowhere at a fireworks store. We overheated. And so Newman and I basically camped out in the fireworks store parking lot that night while trying to convince AAA they should tow me, even though they thought I was driving an RV, but really it was a truck. But because it didn't have a toilet, it couldn't be an RV, but it couldn't be a truck because of how big it was. It was like a gray area. I had AAA, they wouldn't tow the truck. Finally, a real nice guy towed us. We paid him for that. And then he let us put a head gasket in this thing in his shop of his tow yard, which was epic. And when we were all done, we went back to the fireworks store to buy fireworks and thank those people for not throwing us out. And the reason I'm telling you all this is, I don't remember the name of it, but if you watch the video, you can see the name of it. You know how everybody says they have the world's biggest fireworks store in America? And a lot of them are really big. This is the one. This place was so big that the employees rode around the place on Segways. Like legit. It was so big that at the end of the major aisles, they had those giant Transformer statues made out of car parts that are like 9 feet tall. They had 6 of them. I mean, this place was massive. And so if you're ever in the area and you need fireworks, go there because they're nice people. And I do believe they had the largest selection of fireworks anywhere.
Smell coolant. Well, the heater just shut off and the truck just pegged the temp gauge. I smell a lot of coolant. That's not good.
Oh.
Time to freeze.
I'll give me a second.
I'll be in here.
Don't go out there right yet. I'm gonna put my coveralls on, then I'll come join you.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
All right. This is coming out of the radiator. So basically, it blew a head gasket and it's shoving oil into the coolant passage, therefore mixing it in the radiator. There's no oil on the dipstick, and now the radiator is just slap full of oil and coolant.
AAA roadside assistance. So that we may service you faster, you can select from the following 4 options at any time. If you need battery service, press 1. If you need a tow, press 2. Please hold for the next available service representative.
Will you be waiting outside with your vehicle?
Yes.
Has it been lifted or modified?
Lifted? No. Stock height.
So it's stock?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It does have dual wheels, yes. You'll need a, I guess a pretty decent, pretty decent sized flatbed for this.
Okay. Let me speak to my dispatch team to see if I put this under RV or not because of the size of this truck, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, thank you. Cool.
Okay. Has it been lifted or modified? I didn't think about the modified part. I forgot about the 6 doors. I was just like, no, it's not lifted at all.
It's stuck.
It's stuck.
Oh, now we're getting down to it. Here is number 10. This is my top 10 favorite moments, the history of this channel so far. And number 10 involves Mr. John Chase, who once upon a time worked for the Hoonigans. And poor John Chase got talked into calling me out for a grudge race for a new video series Hoonigan had called Call Out Kings. And I don't think he understood what would happen when he did that, because at the time he called me out, I think my car ran mid-9s. Somewhere around there in the quarter mile. And once I realized what was about to go down, I stepped on it. Everything I could to make it as fast as I could. And by the time I arrived in California, Blast Me was an 8-second car that, for whatever reason, couldn't keep the water out of the oil. And so I ended up racing John Chase with 0 water in the radiator or engine block. We had to drag the car to the starting line with a golf cart because the flywheel ring gear spun on the flywheel and it would no longer engage. And when we raced each other, it was probably the worst race of my life in terms of performance. I think I ran a 10 something. The Hemi was really unhappy. John Chase's car had a death wobble. He couldn't even hold on to the steering wheel. And And so my big moment in front of the crowd of fans at Pomona at the Fairplex was marred by the fact that neither one of us ran very good. The upside of all of that was the loser of that race had to get their beard shaved off. And so poor John Chase, who I'd never seen without a beard, and as it turns out his kids never had seen him without a beard, was held down by Goldberg and had his beard shaved off right there in front of everybody.
Did I ever think I would be on this drag strip in front of this crowd? So stoked to be here.
Oh my God!
We're gonna keep shaving up here.
I just made the worst pass of my life and still managed to win.
And, we're gonna continue shaving at the top end, guys.
I gotta go home and rebuild my engine. Car's a mess. I don't even care. Whatever. At least I'm not losing my beard. That's so awkward.
For Richie. Hey, Pomona. Mike Finnegan. Home without any whiskers. Congratulations to Blasphemy Team. It was fun.
I'm glad my other chin didn't get exposed. And luckily, John's beard grew back. And we're still friends, so it's all good. Number 9. Let's go. Number 9 is all Kibby's fault. Because Rob Kibby is the reason I own the death metal Charger. He was the one that pointed it out to me. He was the one that actually delivered it to me. He and a friend of his met my dad and I somewhere in Tennessee, and they dropped death metal off to me. And this is the moment that I saw it for the first time. And it's a moment that changed my life. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rob. And it was another one of those moments where my dad was like, "What are you doing? Why are you buying this? This thing sucks." That's not even why I'm telling you this story. The reason I'm telling you this story is my dad and I jump in the truck. I'm driving. He's riding shotgun, so he should be navigating, right? No, my dad didn't navigate nothing. And unfortunately, the GPS was pointing me towards Memphis, which is where I was supposed to meet Kibby, except I made a wrong turn and drove all the way to Knoxville, which is nowhere near Memphis. And when I got close to Knoxville, my dad goes, "Are we there yet?" I'm like, "Oh, let me look at the GPS." "No, we got 3 hours to go." And he's like, "Jesus, where are we?" And I would look down. I'm like, "Oh, Dad, we're in Knoxville. We're supposed to be in Memphis right now." And my dad lost it. Called me a lot of things. I believe an F-bomb may have been uttered from him. And luckily, Kibby's a good dude, understood the situation, and stuck around for an extra 3 hours to wait for my dad and I as we made a left turn at Knoxville and drove all the way to Memphis to get that car.
I bought the world's worst Charger. I mean, there is not a single body panel on this car that is straight. And yet, there is no Charger as beautiful as this one to me.
If I had done a little more homework, I would have gone back and found a clip where you, years or days ago, revealed, "My dream as Mike Finnegan is to have this Charger that I could off-road, which would be totally rad." And then we'd come back to the future here. And that is exactly what you got. You got a car with race history, right? I mean, this thing was a dirt track Charger. And Brent Fallon is the guy who gets the credit. He sent it to me Friday morning. I texted it to you, and it was on.
Oh, see, and I was going to give you the credit because
it's not mine. It's not me.
I should not be buying automobiles right now. In fact, I'm selling automobiles right now. And yet, when you texted me the link to eBay to this Charger, I was like, "Oh, hell. All right, let me go look at it. And as soon as I saw the first photo, I went, oh, I need this car. I made my O face.
All right, number 8 up next. I talked about this earlier, but here's the exact moment my first ever blow up in blasphemy occurred. 2017, day 2, Hot Rod Drag Week, Gateway Motorsports Park in the burnout box. And I didn't want to believe it. I did not want to believe that the thing was broken. In fact, weeks earlier, Freiberger and I had rebuilt that Hemi on a picnic table in Michigan so that I could get to Roadkill Nights and race him in his Super B. And we took my cylinder heads and put them on Steve Atwell's short block, did the Roadkill Night thing, and I went straight to Drag Week with it. And I didn't realize that those cylinder heads at that point were like 12 years old. And apparently 12-year-old Hemi heads, they need some maintenance. I didn't have them for 12 years. I'd gotten them from Freiberger, so really it's his fault. If you want to send the hate mail, send it to Freiberger. Freiberger technically responsible for my first blow up ever with a Hemi. Yo! This time on Finnegan's Garage, I was going to give you an update on Blasphemy. Except, well, the engine dropped a valve during Drag Week and took out the cylinder head, the engine block, the rods, the pistons, well, pretty much everything in the bottom end. So here's a photo of an example of the carnage. I don't have video of it because I don't even have the car back at my house yet. Number 7, here we go. Number 7 is important for a lot of reasons. This episode demonstrates the power of friendship. You let your friend drive your $100,000 Jetboat with twin turbos and a Hemi. He repays you by gifting you an old hovercraft that then runs you over later. I mean, if that's not friendship, I don't know what is. I'm just kidding. This video is important for a lot of reasons. The number one reason why this is important is that the collaboration between Cletus and myself in Game Over meant millions of people saw Jetboats on his channel, which I think is huge, because I think that's going to be key in growing that sport, which is near and dear to my heart. So here's Cletus McFarlane getting a taste of Game Over on 10 pounds of boost, making, I don't know, 13 or 1400 horsepower. The smiles are priceless.
Yes, dude.
So, you don't want to saw at the wheel.
You gotta tell me those things.
You did great. You did really, like, literally, other than Newbern, I don't think there's anyone else on the planet I'd put in that seat. You did awesome.
Thank you, man. Dude, this is kind of like a oh crap button, because once we were getting loose, I just hit it.
Perfect.
And it straightened right out.
Yeah, it's kind of like pushing the clutch in and throwing the chutes out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the save me now button. And so what you experience is if you don't fully commit, right? Like, everything's on a timer right here.
Yeah.
So if you don't mat it and it doesn't leave as hard as it can, when the nozzle comes up, the timing is wrong.
Oh.
So the nozzle wasn't all the way up and it was spoustering. It was driving on the keel of the boat doing this.
That was sick.
And so that's why you were like, whoa!
Yeah, I could see you were like, oh god.
I was like, camera, where do I hit him?
All right, dude. Well, thank you so much for letting me rip it.
You did awesome, dude. You did awesome.
You all right?
Dude, I'm great. We're not dead. I'm great.
Hell yeah. That was rad, dude.
Dude, thank you.
This is a sick boat.
The internet is a funny thing. These days, I know that if I make a video about going jet boating or drag boat racing, it won't be as popular as if I do car stuff. But there was a time when the internet was fascinated with Game Over, my 19-foot Placecraft jet boat. To the tune of 1 million views the day that engine roared to life, and that engine did one circle in the no-wake zone of my local launch ramp on my lake. We didn't even go anywhere. We didn't even do anything. But everybody wanted to see the lunatic and the boat that he was driving. What most people didn't see is that, we were leak testing it, making sure everything worked, making sure it idled, and nut and bolt checking it to see if anything was going to fall off. And indeed, one of those precision wastegates fell off into the lake because one bolt wasn't tight. This time on Finnegan's Garage, Game Over is alive. Watch this. Come on, baby.
How'd that happen? Like, how is that held on there?
Well, it's held on with a clamp, and my guess is not only was the clamp not tight, but these weren't tight, because this one lost a plug. That one, the entire cap fell off the wastegate, and but if that's all that went wrong for launching this thing, you know, in this, after 6 years, I'm okay with it. Shout out to Precision Turbos for sending me another one, because we're idiots and didn't tighten everything. All right, number 5. All right, number 5 was months in the making. I don't know if you remember this, but in 2024, somewhere around November, December, Roadkill gets canceled. In fact, so does a whole lot of Motor Trend automotive shows. Pretty much all of them canceled, over with. And ever since that time, Freiberger and I have talked about collaborating. In fact, I've talked about it with Dulcich. I've talked about it with a bunch of people. The logistics of that are daunting, to say the least, when you don't have a production company behind that, like Motor Trend. But we did pull it off, finally. Somewhere around March or April, I flew to California to visit my in-laws. David flew down to San Diego. We met at Andy Rawls' shop, and for the first time ever, David and I road tripped one of our cars, the Rodtson, cross-country, strictly for our own YouTube channels and for your guys' enjoyment. This is my number 5 event on this entire channel. Rodtson drives cross-country with Finnegan and Freiberger. Hey, guess what? I just bought the Rodtson, and I'm about to drive it cross-country with Freiberger. This is part 1 of a 2-part episode on my channel and his. Let's go!
The legendary Rodtson.
Hey, girl.
Whoa! He just flew the charge tube clear off the thing. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Dude, that wasn't even half throttle.
Oh, that was great. It was a lot of boost because it pegged the fuel pressure. So it was at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was at least 7 pounds, but it was wrapped in a pin. Ah, that was funny.
For a second, I'm like, it's not making any power. And then it went, whoa! That was only half throttle. We need different springs. This is not going to live. My 4th favorite moment of the 9-year history of Finnegan's Garage is that time that I bought another car without seeing it in person, flew to go get it, and road tripped it home. And this is all about Newbert and I buying Square Force 1 and then battling fuel system problems that all started at the top of a bridge over a river. And the reason this sticks out in my brain isn't because we froze, isn't because we were wet, isn't because ultimately Square Force became one of my favorite vehicles and stayed with me for years and we hopped it up. It's because we had to drive backwards down that bridge with no taillights into oncoming traffic, and they had no idea what we were doing. Sketchiest thing I've ever done by a lot, but we lived and we survived and we thrived. And here it is for you.
I don't like stuff.
So we got about 8 miles. Yeah, 8 miles is how far we got. And then started climbing this hill over this bridge to cross the Ohio River to get from Indiana into Kentucky. No gas in the carburetor. Totally lost all fuel pressure. So we actually rolled backwards down the bridge, nearly ate a Prius, made it here to the shoulder, and then from out of nowhere, sheriffs everywhere. Not to arrest us, just to make sure we were okay. We replaced the fuel pump. We have a couple of bad fittings. Nice gentleman who helped us buy this truck, Joe, took off to go get those fittings. He's been gone a while. We couldn't figure out why until we realized while we had our heads down and we were under the truck, the police closed the highway. No joke. The entire highway behind us, has been closed. So although we probably could be back on the road, any moment now. We're now waiting because, you know, roadkill, I guess? Jesus. I'm on vacation. Look at this. Who does this happen to? Just us. Just us. As soon as we get 2 fittings and a piece of fuel line, we're back on the road. That just may be like 4 hours from now. Fuel pump's dead, we think, because there's no fuel at the carb, and we had 2 brand new fuel filters, neither of which were clogged, so spend all day getting a fuel pump delivered here to us on the side of the road, which was awesome. Put the fuel pump in, had to build a new fuel line, all this stuff. High five each other. Let's go find steak dinner. Go to fire the thing up. Won't crank over. Battery's dead. Come on, baby. I guess 4 hours on the side of the road with the hazards flashing was too much for our battery, so here we are waiting for jumper cables.
I knew I should have turned the dang flashers off earlier because I thought about it.
Those were the only things that saved us from getting run over by a Prius and half a dozen semis.
I don't care at this point. I would have rather just be driving down the road with a damn dent in the back.
And whiplash. I still love the new ramp truck. Look at all. My third favorite moment from the entire history of this channel is the day I came home on my wedding anniversary, greeted my wife, and revealed to her that I had taken her family's 1969 Chevy El Camino that her grandpa bought brand new and hidden it away for 2 years while it was getting restored, and she had no idea. All the tears, all the emotions came out of her face when she came home from work and saw that car. And it is my most favorite thing I've ever done for her, and it is probably, next to her CRX, her favorite car in the fleet. And this is the moment. This is the moment it all happened. My wife's 1969 Chevy El Camino has not run in over a year. And for nearly a decade, I've come up with every excuse I can think of to not paint this car. I didn't want it too nice. I wanted to be able to park it anywhere, run it into any cones on any autocross course, anywhere in the world, and not worry about it. But today, I'm giving in. We're finally gonna get the car running again with a new 6-speed manual gearbox, and we're gonna paint the Elko. I hear a car. My neighbor, Mr. Quinn, hiding behind the tree, strategically placed to get the best possible angle on my wife's face as she turns into the driveway and drops an F-bomb with a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old in the car. Me, I'm right here, covering his 6 to make sure no snipers get him. I'll get her as she exits the car. And yes, even on a day as perfect as this one, somehow we get roadkilled and something goes wrong. I wanted to make sure there was plenty of gas in the tank. Well, I overfilled it, and it's leaking out of the vent tube. I'm gonna ignore this. My wife, she'll probably notice. But I don't think she'll care when she realizes you can't surf down the side of this car anymore, because it's that straight. Look at our mouth hanging open. Oh, there it is. Here comes the tears. Oh, we have tears. We have maximum emotion.
Oh my god.
Happy anniversary, baby. I love you, darling. All right, I'm coming, buddy. I'm coming.
Oh my god. I can't believe you did that.
Happy anniversary.
That looks amazing. Oh my god. My grandpa's car. Oh my. This is actually a drivable car.
Oh yeah. You have 525 Chevrolet Performance LS3 horsepower under the hood. You have a 6-speed manual gearbox from Silver Sport Transmissions. You've got a race pack digital dash. Ride Tech suspension. This thing will go around corners like you would not believe, and the e-brake even works. Power steering, Willwood 14-inch brakes. Yeah. The harder you push the brake pedal, the better it works. Number 2. God, this was fun. Another YouTuber named Redbeard from Redbeard's Garage hit me up, said, I got an Argo 6x6. Do you want to trade? I said, yes. I said, but I don't know. I feel like an Argo 6x6 is kind of expensive, kind of nice. I have an old Suburban if you want it, but I'll throw in some other stuff. And so we traded. I gave him a square body Suburban that Tony Angelo's friend had delivered down from PA to my house. I think I gave him a Sniper EFI system to go with it and some other things. Whatever I had that made me feel less guilty about what I was about to do. So we traded, and immediately after that I felt none of the guilt because that 6x6, it was less than optimal. However, Newbern and I figured out that it did float, and we drove it all the way across my lake without dying and without sinking. Here is that video. All right, I'm in the water. I can feel it touching. I can feel it. Oh, we're floating. We are definitely floating. Okay. We are floating. The wheels are not on the ground at all. How do you steer this thing? All right, here we go. Okay. All right, there's the left turn. Uh-oh. I might have to try reverse. Oh, it's like a brake. I got brakes. All right. Come on back. Yeah. Wow, it really does float. All right, now if I can just figure out how to turn. It's working, dude! Wow! And we'll turn right. It's just like the kind of fun I had in Cletus's hovercraft. It is not fast. I don't care.
We don't know that yet. You haven't hit high gear.
Well, that was in high gear.
But no, it's got 2 speeds though. It'll get to another level.
The kids are gonna love this thing. When we go drive in the lake, they're gonna be like, "What?"
Don't tell them. Just be driving and just be like, "Let's just drive it in the water and watch them freak out at first."
Never tell them.
Yeah.
They'll probably start crying.
They'll cry when the brakes lock up and I'm stuck out there doing circles.
That's why I think it'd be sweet to put a trolling motor on the side over there.
That's not a bad idea.
So you don't have to move to control.
Yeah, a little electric one.
Yeah.
Dude, that's not a bad
secondary
idea.
battery right under this fuel tank.
Yeah.
Sweet. I had a lot of plans. I wanted to put, a bumper jack on it, all kinds of, make it like a apocalypse vehicle. But then I was like, no, we've been needing a clapped out Suburban for years.
I mean, really, your life wasn't complete until you picked up Black Beauty there.
My wife been wanting a new vehicle, and I was like, I got it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. New vehicle would be cool.
deserve it.
But how about this Suburban?
You care a lot about it, don't you?
Yeah, I was like, you deserve a nice vehicle.
Y'all are staying together, huh? In it for the long haul? You know what? The downside of this whole thing is I'm not going to get any credit with my wife, because although a vehicle is leaving and it's a vehicle she wouldn't like at all, she never actually saw it. So there's no credit.
Mine's happy.
You know? Yeah, yours is like, woo, one's gone. Wait till this breaks and it ends up in your lawn. Let's go again. Are you kidding? I'm going to cross the lake. We're going all the way, dude.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
They may have to pick us up at the campground over there, but we're getting there. All right.
I'm ready. Maybe if I sit on this side, you can stay on that side and we'll even it out.
Always remember, today was the day we took Kermit across the lake. High gear, because she likes to run. Ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Oh my God, no.
It came in kind of hot.
Okay. We made it, dude! Look at how far we went! Yeah! Dude! That was incredible! You know what this means? This is a boat. This is a boat. And a car. I will use it as such. Alright. Can we go back on? Sure. Alright.
It's definitely rough on land. You almost slung me out.
I can't believe it made it all the way over there and back. That is so cool. And really warm. That's definitely taxing it.
Yeah.
I think we've probably beat on this harder than anyone in history with this particular one. And outboard on the back. That's the key. Like, get it into the water and then engage outboard.
That was amazing.
Dude, it worked. It totally worked.
And the #1 moment from the history of this channel is the first video we ever made. The one that got you guys here. The one where I toured the garage with you and said, every Tuesday, I don't even know what day it was, I said I'd be here for you guys, which was wrong. We ended up being on Sundays, and I've tried to do this every week. We haven't missed much. There was a period at the very beginning where we missed a few weeks. But pretty much, you guys know, Sunday mornings are our time together. You and me. And Finnegan's Garage, and we will keep doing that. Hopefully for another 9 years, you know, at least as long as I can hold a wrench and you guys want to watch this, we will keep doing it. We will take you places, hopefully you've never been. We will show you things maybe you've never seen, and we'll show you both the right way and the wrong way to do this right here on Finnegan's Garage. Thanks for watching. Welcome to my garage. Check it out. Got my car, got my boat, I got my tools, and I got you for several minutes, hopefully. Come on. Check it out. I called my wife and I said, baby, we need to buy this house. And she said, okay, what's the kitchen look like? I said, I don't know, but there's a urinal in my garage, and there's, you know, room, and it's amazing. It's got 3-phase electric in it already. I mean, this place is paradise as far as I'm concerned. And thankfully she's the greatest wife in the world, and she said yes without even looking at the place. So we bought the house and moved the whole family here to Georgia. And this is where I work on my own stuff, and sometimes a few good friends and some family members and a few customers, but mostly this is just my junk in my garage. So here it is. Check it out. This is my drag boat. It's a brand new Placecraft and has a giant Hemi in it. Someday I'll finish it, someday I'll go racing. Not the best part. The best part is there's a swinging door and there's a urinal. Basically, with a fridge under the stairs and a urinal here, I never need to leave the garage at all. But I do because I want to stay married. But this is pretty cool. I like that. And you notice it's just a urinal, so really there's no women hanging out down here. So you get a lot done.